So this is part 3 of our pre-release for Zendikar video, and I've got a Zendikar Rising pre-release pack that I picked up over at XL Games in Herkimer. So the first two parts, just as a little recap, were doing the live openings of my two pre-releases that I did at Friday night, Saturday night over in Mind Games in Oneida. And so I decided to also pick up a pack to open in front of you guys and actually get a chance to talk to in person about it instead of having to voice over everything. So if I can get this open, it's always a pain in the butt to open. Oh, jeez. There we go. Had to really get a grip in there. You want to... Okay. There we go. So I like the new design of the boxes. I'm going to raise the camera up a little. There we go, get a better look at this. I really like how they changed the boxes a lot. They used to be like more squat. I like that they're tall now. They fit easier into my backpack in all honesty. So let's see what we get. So we've got our little inserts. Gear up for adventure. I really like how they put a real emphasis on adventuring in this. I think it's great. I think it's and that the videos that they put out the weeks before the pre-release were really interesting. And then they've got, you know, their standard pre-release guide, how you build your deck, recommendations, and you know, if you're new to the game, definitely a good guide to follow. So let's see what we got for our promo. And we have a Linvala, Shield of Seagate. Nice. I can't complain about this. This is a really nice promo. I always prefer to get legendary creature promos over just standard rares, unless it's something like a really great rare like Lotus Cobra. So I talked about this in another video, but well, I am going to talk about it. I'm forgetting how I'm posting these videos. These are coming first, and then I'm going to be doing a video with some Zendikar packs. So Linvala is a white, a blue, and a colorless flying angel wizard legendary creature for 3/3. At the beginning of combat in your turn, if you have a full party, choose target non-land permanent an opponent controls. Until your next turn, it can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. You can sacrifice Linvala, choose hexproof or indestructible creatures you control gain that ability until end of turn. I think she's a great card for what she does. The stat line itself, 3 mana for a flying 3/3 is really good. The abilities are just icing on the cake. The first ability is probably only going to be focused if you're trying to build it around party. I think in limited, blue-white is the best colors for making a party-focused deck. I think in general, she will probably see play in standard for control decks. The fact that she gets a secondary ability prevents your stuff from dying to board wipes or from spells. I think she's a solid card, and also, you know, a 3/3 flyer in the air is nothing to sneeze at, you know. So let's see what we got in the case here. So we've got 3 Zendikar. Sorry, we got 6 Zendikar Rising booster packs, draft packs, and we have this really nice, clear, almost clearish looking green Zendikar die. Lovely colors they put in that. I like the set symbol too. Okay, so let's start with pack number 1 here. Let's see what we can get. And we gotta open these the old-fashioned way. Okay, so we've got our Hellion got a Hellion, got Shell Shield, Tazim Raptor, Reclaim the Wastes, Oblivion's Hunger, Tajuru Brightblade, Expedition Diviner. We have a Showcase Art Skyclave Squid. I love the art on this. Canopy Bailiff, Tuk Rubblefort. And our first uncommon is the Showcase Art Skyclave Pickaxe. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about these than I normally would, at least with the uncommons. I know I kind of went faster to commons. Most of them are self-explanatory. You can pause the video to read them. Gather and the Wizards website are also a good place to check out the full list. So it's a green equipment. When it ETBs, you attach it to target creature control. That's the one thing I really like about this set is all the equipment that came out of the set auto equips when it comes into play. So as long as your creature doesn't get removed while this is on the stack, you don't have to worry about equipping it. It's only when you're trying to move it to something else later. And I think that makes these equipments a lot better is that the fact that they auto-equip. Even if their abilities aren't as strong, you don't have to waste the mana to play it and then equip it and then hope you get benefit out of it. These just get attached right away. And I know with any focused equipment deck, especially in EDH, you put as many ways to cheat equipment onto things as soon as possible. So we've got a Windrider Wizard. We have our Bayin Veil for our double modal face card. And you guys saw our next slot. But and then we have a Leyline Tyrant. Already a great start to this pack, to this kit. Leyline is 2 red and 2 additional, flying 4/4 dragon. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases. And for those who aren't familiar with how Magic's mana mechanic works, as you move through the phases of your turn, being main and where mana is mostly going to be tapped, being main phase, combat, main phase 2. If you tap any mana during those phases and it doesn't get used, they disappear as they move on the phases. And then any mana that at the end of your turn, as you end your turn, would also disappear. What this does is that it basically stores all, specifically red mana. And this is an ability that's seen play in on Omnath from the original Zendikar set, which is specifically green mana. And I think this is a great card because when it dies, you may pay any amount of red mana. When you do, it deals that much damage to any target. So you get this out turn 4, right? And or even like turn 5, you know? You play this turn 5 and you have a red left over, you don't use it. You tap it before you end your turn. It goes into your pool. Or let's say you're holding it open with a shock, but you don't end up using the shock. Before it goes back to your beginning of your turn, you pay the red mana and it gets stored into Leyline Tyrant. And then you just build it up over the next couple of turns, and if they remove this, they have to worry about the damage that's going to be coming at you, and you can also use that mana to cast really big stuff. I think this is a great card. It's definitely going to see standard play, probably not mono red. Well, who knows? It depends. I think it can definitely has potential. I think in EDH is definitely really good. What kind of decks want to run it? I don't know. Maybe in something like red-green where you can ramp out really fast. A lot of mana. Maybe not specifically mono-red, but mono-red does have ways of generating mana. Oh, you could do something really stupid with, Irencrag Feet from Theros, which gives you pay 4, generates 7 mana, you can only cast 1 more spell. You cast this, have an additional 3 mana left over, store it onto this. So unless they remove it, unless they counter around the stack, as soon as it hits the field, anytime past that point it would be removed, you have the potential to blast something in the face for 3. And honestly, I'm going to have to look into that. That's an idea. That is definitely an idea. We have our land, and then we got our add token, which goes straight in the garbage. See, this is fun. When seeing this new set, getting your hands on all the cards, it's you really gets your gears going in your head there, and you can really start thinking about how you want to build decks or how you can play certain cards. And it's really, really fun. So let's keep going. We have pack number 2. We have our Deliberate, Core Celebrant, Inordinate Rage, Field Research, Gnarled Colony, Hagra Constrictor, Feed the Swarm, Rabid Bite, Cliffhaven Kitesail. Our first uncommon is Shatterskull Minotaur, Paired Tactician, Vine Gecko, and we have Branchloft Pathway, Boulderloft Pathway. And then we got a foil, which is a Farsight Adept. So I'm pretty happy with the pull so far. Nothing crazy. Another add token straight, and the trash it goes. And so what I'll do is after I'm done opening the videos, I'll take a look at our pool and kind of figure out what kind of deck I would build this around. Well, and really it just depends on what else we get out of the packs here. So let's keep going. Raptor, Electromancer, Colony, Blank Priest, Riptide, Barrage, Unity, Highborn Vampire, Tajaru Snarecaster, Royal Eruption. Demon's Disciple is our first uncommon. Just organizing my stacks over here. We've got a Thundering Spark Mage, Sajiri's Shelter, and we have Yasharn the Implacable Earth. 2, a green and a white, legendary creature Elemental Boar. When it enters the battlefield, you search your library for a basic forest card and a basic plains card. Reveal those cards, put them in your hand, and shuffle your library. Players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities 4/4. This is a strong card. It's a 4-mana 4/4, which is already a great stat line. But the fact that it ramps you, it gets you 2 lands in your hand, helps really fix your mana for the following turns. And the fact that it's also a hate bear and that it prevents your players from paying life or sacrificing lands to cast spells or activate abilities is really strong, especially in EDH. I would say that this is a card that is designed to really put a stop on sack decks in Standard. But in EDH, there's so much in black that you pay life. There's a lot of effects that you just pay life into. And there's quite a few decks that just revolve around sacrificing creatures, and you have this out and you stop it. It's tough to deal with if you don't have the removal to take care of it. And in green and white, there's definitely a lot of ways to protect creatures from getting killed. I think it's a great card. As a commander, probably not. As part of the 99, yeah, for sure. Anything deck that's going to run white and green and doesn't have to rely on sacking its own stuff or paying life, I think those decks will love this card. And I think it'll definitely see some Standard play. Or at least, probably. I wouldn't see why not. We've got our island and our token. Okay, 3 more packs to go. So already, this is a really heck of a kit, honestly. 3 different legendary creatures, and we actually got the double-sided pathway to support Yasharn, and then we could honestly splash for another color if we really wanted to. So we got Stalker, Strike, Electromancer, Kazandu Nectarpot, Silencer, Skydancer, Cunning Geyser Mage, Skyclave Sentinel, Vanquish the Weak, Risen Riptide, and our first uncommon is Paired Tactician, Concerted Defense, Song Mad Treachery, and our rare is a Skyclave Apparition. 2 white and additional, Core Spirit, 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you exile up to 1 target non-land, non-token permanent you don't control with CMC 4 or less. When it leaves the battlefield, the exiled card's owner creates an XX blue illusion creature token where X is the converted mana cost of the exiled card. This is great removal. There's white has had plenty of effects where it's an enchantment comes down and exile something, and then when it gets removed, leaves the battlefield, you get it back. However, instead of giving the card back, all they get is a creature, and creatures are honestly much easier to deal with. So even that this is a creature itself and is prone to removal, you're getting rid of the card permanently. They don't get it back. Once it's been hit by this, all they get back is a creature for their trouble. So I think this is a great card. I think any white deck in Standard is probably going to play it. Probably especially in control builds, I would say, will play this card. I really like it, and I think it's pretty strong, and I think EDH will probably play it too. There's lots of stuff that you'd rather have them have, like a creature that's maybe an 8/8 instead of the 8/8 that actually has threatening abilities and can win them the game. I think it's a great card. I would definitely get a playset. And we have a swamp and a plant token. Okay, down to our last 2 packs. So far, this deck is screaming to me white. Probably white-green with a splash of blue. to maybe run the Linvala. And I can definitely see that, honestly. So Shield Tactics, Hellion, Stalker, Mind Drain, Scythe Cat, Prowling Felidar, Dreadworm, Expedition Diver, Relic Golem, Soaring Thought Thief, Fort the Grave, Ondu Inversion. Oh yeah, I'm definitely playing white. Destroy all non-land permanents, 6 and 2 additional. And it's a tap land on the other side. And we have a foil mythic. Hot damn, Rob, you sold me a heck of a release kit. I wish I played this. I wish I didn't take this home. I wish I opened this kit at a pre-release. I would have been in heaven, honestly. This is such a great kit so far. I've hit 2 mythics, really strong cards overall. I'm just in shock at how good this kit is, honestly. The Drana and the foil Drana is just like the second cherry on top of the giant sundae that is this kit. Like, man, oh man. Let's talk about this card. Excuse me. Drana, the Last Blood Chief, 3 and 2 black. Legendary creature, Vampire Cleric, flying. Whenever Drana, the Last Blood Chief attacks, defending player chooses a non-legendary creature card in your graveyard. You return that card to the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it. The creature is a vampire in addition to its other types. So, this is a 5-mana CMC 4/4 flyer. Not bad stats. This attacks. On the attack trigger, you get something back out of your grave. It's at your opponent's choice, so they'll probably give you the weak stuff. But it's still recurring cards, and there are ways to curate your graveyard to have only limit them to the options that you want. There are definitely ways to build really strong decks in both EDH and in Standard, and I think it's a great solid black card. Would I run it as a commander? I'm not sure. I think this is great in black. As the commander, I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's standard play. Maybe. It's a little on the expensive side, but I think it's definitely strong enough that people could definitely try to make it work. And there's definitely cards that you could run that really want to be brought back from the graveyard. Such as Priest of the Archfiend, I think. It's from Core 21. It's a card that when it recurs from your graveyard, it becomes a 5/5 demon. You sack it, you make a 5/5 demon, which I think is pretty good, you know. But let's keep going. Let's see what else we can pull. Hopefully this is just as good as the last 5 packs. So we've got Sneaking Guide, Duelist, Mesa Lynx, Molten Blast, Scythe Cat, Skitter Sneak, Bailiff, Rebel Fort, Bikindi Ox, Glacial Grasp, and our first uncommon is Roost of Drakes. We have a Showcase Art Brushfire Elemental. Lovely art on that. We have a Salundi Visions. And we have a Soul Shatter, one of the better pieces of removal out of this set. 2 and a black. Instant. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker with the highest CMC cost among creatures and planeswalkers they control. Really good. Oftentimes, the biggest threat on the table is going to be their higher CMC stuff. Now, there are going to be cases where this card isn't useful, but black has quite a few removal spells for stuff that is low CMC cost for cheap. This is something you might run of 1 or 2 main deck. You could side in more if needed, but I think it's a great piece of removal a lot of the times. And because it's a sacrifice effect, it gets around hexproof, which I think for something like a Dream Trawler, which is usually in a blue-white deck going to be the highest CMC costing creature on their side of the field in the first place, I think this is a great removal for black. And I really enjoyed this in the limited. It was solid overall. I can't really complain. Token. And then we've got a forest. So I mean, wow, this is something else. I honestly, I mean, I at this point I just have to finish going through the uncommons to and the commons, really get a feel for it, but I would say that white is definitely our strongest color with green. You could put in black, you could splash black, you could splash red, you could splash blue. I This is probably the best pre-release kit that I've opened. Is it as strong as the kit I opened on night 1? Probably. Probably is. This has some crazy cards in this. I mean, I've got 2 mythics, Linvala. I've got 3, really 4, 3. I've got I mean, look at this nonsense. It's good. And you got your choice of what color to splash. It is nuts. And white is one that has some fairly strong cards in this. I just looking at these cards, I could see like 3 or 4 different ways I could just straight alone build this deck. And now, yes, I'd have to take a look through the uncommons and commons, but because I'm going through 3 colors, I can really pick and choose what I want to cram into this thing. Yeah, so, Rob, if you're watching this, I really wish I had played this at the store, man. I mean, geez. Rob, if my luck from these kits have, like, compared to when I bought those Ikoria, like, I thought I bought some really great Ikoria kits from you for pre-release. I can't wait till we can play pre-release in person again at the store, man. Because hot damn, you keep giving me these kits that I just would be dying to play limited. And then I just only get to use the cards out of them for standard and EDH. And it sucks because I would really love to play this against people. Anyways, enough of that. Thank you guys for watching the video. Still not sure if I'm going to have this as part 3 in the one video or have it as a second video that follows up the live openings. Well, whatever it is, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you'll join me for next time. I'll see you around.